Hello everyone, and welcome to Minecraft again. My name is Erticate9428, but you can just call me Joe, it's way easier. And this is a brand new Minecraft world I've just generated in the Mounts of Mayhem update, which came out a few weeks ago. And I figured it's a brand new year, what's a better time to start a brand new Minecraft world? So, we're going to get started with all of the normal New World stuff, punching some trees. And I'm going to take out a few of these sheep over here. So, this world was generated with the large biomes world type, which is going to give me ample space to build tons and tons of different things, which is what I plan to do during this brand new year of 2026. So, I think for this first episode, we gotta get started with all of the basics. Let's get some trees punched. This sheep would stop pushing me out of the way. Let's get some wooden tools, and we'll get started with our mining and crafting, as is the name of the game. So, you may notice my GUI being a little different. I am only using vanilla tweaks for the resource pack with a few things selected, which I can go over in a little while. And I am using very few mods to just, quality of life stuff. I'm using sodium to make the game run better, and I am using the Voxy mod, which I've heard a lot about, haven't actually tried myself yet, which that is a level of detail mod, which is gonna allow me to be able to see way off into the distance, and I think that will be pretty helpful for being able to view our massive builds, which are, in the works. Be able to view those from a long ways away. So, finally found some stone here. Let's start getting some stone tools going. So, got our first stone tools from this little hole. So let's just start gathering our early game materials, and I will look for a place to build our starter base. And I see some sugar cane over here, which will be very, very useful in the future once we start getting enchanting. And it looks like there's a little bit of a hole in the ground here that I can go and find maybe some early game minerals, like see some copper up there, which I think that will be perfect, seeing as the last update was the Copper Age. Oh, and a little bit of iron too. Getting all this copper means that I will be able to make some copper armor to go with the iron tools that I will be making with our first amount of iron. Just grab the rest of this here copper. What little of it there is. Cool. 20 copper? That's almost a full set of armor. That seems good to me. And some coal. Coal is, I would say, maybe one of the most important things you can mine. And, fun fact, coal is my favorite ore in the game to go mining for. There's just something about how simple coal is, You know, it's a fuel source. You need fuel to cook things, you know, cook your food, cook your other ores, and all of that stuff is very important. And having a lot of coal is good to be able to do those things. Okay. So, just exploring this little ravine here, grabbing some more copper. It brings me to, that's a whole stack of copper. Sheesh. Let's head up the water stream here. And let's take a little look around. Let's craft a furnace. Get some of that copper smelting. And we'll take a look around. See if I can't spot any more sheep. Doesn't seem any in my viewpoint right now, but we will get over there and take a look in a second. So, being that the last update was the Copper Age, I think I should take a little advantage of that and get some copper armor going, even if it is not the best. It'll be a good placeholder for now. Give us just that little bit extra protection. Now, let's take a look and see if I can't find any sheep around here. That is a chicken, which is good, but it's not a sheep. I see some black sheep over here. That'll be perfect. Ooh. That right there is a trail ruins. That is super lucky. Super lucky to find one of those. Those are some pretty rare structures. And I will definitely have to remember where that is and go on a little bit of a excavation, if you will. So, let's see if I can't find another sheep in this here. I suppose I could just, yeah, I could grab, hello, nah, I'll grab the poppies. Grab the poppies, make the classic red bed. Yeah, there we go. Let's grab our crafting table and make the standard red bed as was so prominent back in the day. Because it was the only bed in the game. So, I want to stay kind of close to spawn. Just so I don't have to go too far away to, you know, retrieve my stuff if I happen to die. Skeleton. Ooh. See if I can get some bones here. Hiya! Nice. One bone. So, I am going to want to chop down some of these spruce trees. Love spruce wood and love having access to it right off the bat. I think it's one of the, I think oak is the best wood in the game, just because it's the, you know, the standard. It's what everybody thinks of when you think of Minecraft. But I think spruce is a very close runner-up. It's just got that little darker color. I think it contrasts well if you're building with, you know, stone blocks, stone bricks, cobblestone, anything of that nature. And it doesn't hurt to grab extra wood while I can manage it. So, let's make sure I get a spruce sapling or two. Might as well chop down another tree while I'm waiting. Honestly, I could punch the leaves. Waiting for leaves decay doesn't actually increase your odds at saplings, which is an interesting fact. Hello, Piggy. So, let's head back towards the spawn area. And I like the look of that mountain over there. Maybe that's a good place for a starter cave, I guess. Might as well hop on a boat to make my way over towards that big mountain that I saw. Okay, I've made it to the large hill that I saw. So, I don't know if I actually want to make my base here. So I figured, why don't I climb up top, get a good vantage point of what we're working with in the surrounding area here. Alright, so back over there is where spawn is, and I see the spruce forest over there, and this is why I have the Voxy mod installed, because it allows me to see ever so farther as I would if I was only using the default render distance. So I don't see anything that really stands out. There's a place for our first base. Let's head over to this side. Let's take a look. I do see that ruined portal, which I forgot about in the beginning there. I did notice that. So, yeah, let's go check out that ruined portal. Alright, here is that ruined portal. I am very quickly running out of inventory space, so if there's anything in here, some iron nuggets, I can turn those into some ingots. 5 iron ingots, look at that. Why don't I drop the dirt, and I can drop the oak sapling. I'll get plenty more of those. Let's make our first iron pickaxe. Look at that. Nice. Let's grab our bed back. Efficiency 5 gold pickaxe is also pretty interesting. But I'm going to leave the rest of this stuff here for now. Just like I said, I'm out of inventory space. And I'm going to drop off those 2 copper. Alright, let's head over this way and use our boat. Go for a little boat ride down the river. See the sights, like the squids and their seagrass. We'll take a look at what is over this way. I do like this little island here, but I think it's a little too small. I see more spruce coming up ahead. Way down the line over there. But I think right here on the coastline, I think that's a good place for our starter base. Maybe right over here on the corner. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So, I think this is a good enough place as any for our starter base. Let's start off by planting some of these sweet berries that I found. Get them started for our food production, because we are gonna need lots and lots of food. Let's also craft the rest of these into planks, and we'll throw a couple of chests down just to store all of this garbage. Like our first wooden tools of the world and the rest of this stuff. Let me make another furnace. Bam, double furnace speed. Look at that. And we'll take some of this leaf litter, because leaf litter is a pretty decent fuel source early on, because we have tons of it. It's all over the place. So might as well use it for one of the two things it's good for. The other being decorating. But fuel, I think, is a little bit more important for us right now. So we got some steak. Let's cook up some mutton also. And we'll plop our bed down because it is turning nighttime. The berries grew fast. Set our spawn. Wait for it to turn nighttime fully so I'm able to sleep. And then we'll start chopping some of these trees down and put up a little starter house. Just something simple. Cut down most of the trees in this area and started a little farm over there. But I think it's time for our first mining trip, because I want to build at least part of this starter base out of stone and stone materials. So I think here's a good place as any to start our first little staircase down into the mines. I think I'm gonna do a little 2x2 here. Or a 2-wide staircase here. So, I got a furnace, some leaf litter to use as fuel for anything that we find down there. I got my full set of copper armor, and a little bit of food. I made a couple of more copper tools, including a copper spear, and hopefully I can find a cave pretty soon that will supply us with all of our minerals that we will need to begin construction on our base. So I think it's time to dig a big staircase all the way down. And look at that, already finding some copper. Ooh, looks like I've discovered a cave. Alright, looks like we've made it to deep slate layer. Grab some lapis here. That'd be good for enchanting. And I'm gonna head up a little ways more. See if there's any more. No more cave here. Cave ends there, and there's no minerals or anything around here to mine. So, only one place to go, and that's further down into the cave. Got some redstone. That'll be helpful, making an automatic farm of something. Haven't decided what our first automated farm is going to be, but this cave is not very good So, I'm gonna keep digging my staircase even further down into the earth. Look at that. Our first couple of diamonds. How many do we got here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. A little bit of redstone on the side, too. Look at that. 8 diamonds. That's a great start. Ooh. Okay. Big cave. I see some redstone down there. I see some gold. I just gotta figure out what's the best way to get down there. Screw it. Okay. Double skeleton. There we go. Let them take care of each other. Ooh. Zombie spawner. Look at that. Right underneath our base. That's super good to find. Let's grab this string and this gunpowder and a bucket. 2 golden apples. Beetroot seeds, which, you know, beetroot. We'll grow some eventually, but it's gonna be a while. A couple more diamonds. No more around here. Hello, creeper. Ooh, boy. Okay, danger. There's a slime over here. Let's eat that. Get some more saturation. Slime ball. Look at that, more diamonds too. Alright. Let's grab that. And then try to figure out what the best way up to the top again is. Maybe I just dig a little staircase here, because that looks like a little cave up ahead. Oh, skeletons. That looks like an interesting tunnel down there. more stuff over there. A couple of zombies. But I think for right now, I'll deal with the zombie that's coming in close. And just build a little staircase. Little bridge. Bit of a dangerous bridge over lava, but we can fix that later. And honestly, the first beginnings of the mine aren't going to be super good looking. But that is also something that we can work on at a later date. Let's just do this and then do that. And I think that's good enough. Now, I am going to want to put stairs in here. So, if I dig like this, yeah, I think that should be fine. Alright, I'm going to dig this all the way back up. And then take a look at what we got going around our base. Because I am running very low on food. Ooh, very dangerous. I think the best thing to do right now... Ow! Does half of my health when he hits me with his trident. Let's try to... Get out. Where are you? It's a baby drowned too. Oh, that sucks. I'm out of arrows. Ow. Let's craft some iron armor. Just get that little bit of extra protection. And then I got these golden apples, so I'm gonna eat one of these. And then I'm gonna try to take this guy out. Aww, first death. I should have made a shield. That's what I should have done. And in fact, I'm gonna do that right now. There we go. Finally, take that guy out. Alright. So, Before I was rudely interrupted by that baby drowned with a trident, I crafted myself a fishing rod. And I think that that is going to be a decent way to get a little bit of starting food to sustain myself for a little while. And the shield is almost broken, but I will keep it around. So, I think it's time to do a little bit of fishing. So, I went out a long ways, found a nice dark oak forest, and I'm gonna just pick up a little bit of this, a few saplings also, so now I have access to those, and then I'm gonna keep moving on. Ah, carrots and moss. That's good. Look at that. Woodland Mansion. Okay. Have to remember where that is. Oh, look at that. Another Woodland Mansion. Okay. Oh, and Pale Oak. I was looking for that too. Look at this. Finding our first village. Now, being that this is a spruce village, I don't think there... Oh, look at that. Potatoes right there. I was going to say I don't think there are potatoes at these villages, but I was immediately proven wrong. And now, being that I found those carrots in that shipwreck, we have everything that we need to make a decent farm. So, I'm going to continue the journey home. Which is that way. And take a look at that. We are arriving back at our tiny little homestead. After that short expedition, I think that it's probably about time to start getting the house put up. And there we have it. Our starter house is complete. So, I'll give you a little tour and then we will wrap up this episode. So, we got our little pathway here, you know, a couple of mossy walls, a little bit of grass and some bushes. We've got some berry bushes on the outside. And then here is our living room area, which needs a little bit of furnishing still. I need a few more workstations. Got the cartography station and the stone cutter. Got our furnaces here, a little crafting table. If we head down the stairs into the basement, this is where all of our bulk storage will be. You know, cobblestone, stone, sand, gravel, andesite, diorite, all that fun stuff. I put our lodestone down in the floor here, so we'll always have a compass back to our base. And then if we head upstairs to view our little guest right now, we have our storage system. So we got our plants and our ingots and our ores and rare stuff and miscellaneous and all that fun stuff. Will all be stored up here. We got some barrels in the ceiling, and you know, two layers of barrels there, and we got one behind all of these chests over here. We got our little map wall, mapping out our lake that we got right now, which we'll expand that later. And then we got a little central crafting table here, right in the center of the room, with our extra tools that we're using right now. And then I put little fence gates on the balconies here to make a quick escape, get out of the house pretty easily. And then I got a little side door here, which I think I'm gonna connect a little annex here, and that'll be our bedroom, because where we got our bed currently, I don't think it's a super good place. And then I think the rest of the place over here will be a little farm, you know, animal farm, crop farm, and that is the gist of it. I've been doing a lot of fishing, you know, getting our source of food up. And while I was fishing, I got a visit from the Wandering Trader, and I bought a cherry sapling from him. So now we got access to cherry wood, which will be useful, because I really like the particle effects on the cherry leaves. Super useful for building and stuff, depending on, you know, where you place them. But that is our starter base. Last but not least, I want to do something special for this series. I want to do an album review. Now, I am a big fan of music, big music nerd. I collect vinyl records, all that fun stuff. And I want to have a music review segment for the last part of each episode. Now, this being the first episode, we don't have an album to review. So, for next episode, I will be reviewing the Minecraft soundtrack, Minecraft Volume Alpha. And it's just going to be a short little segment at the end of each episode. And I will tell you what album I'm going to review. I'm going to put a link to the album in the description. And I will then review the album from the last episode. So, that about wraps up everything for episode 1. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.